It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go, here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it to your friends, come on.
Come
So
on.
this a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got you tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Give the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your well. Keep it moving, spirit flowing because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday 8 and 9 and it's on. Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people at night. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show. Checking in with you live and direct. Listen, people, it is on. Like the theme song said, don't miss another moment of the show tonight. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm tired. A little sleepy, as they say. But I'm hanging out with y'all tonight because we got a good topic. And first and foremost, let me say this. Somebody hit me up and was like, was I gonna talk about the little mysterious situation with y'all president? And y'all talking about the man is sick. He going through listen, I don't even get involved in all that. I don't know if he's sick or not. If he is, hey, I ain't gonna wish no ill will on nobody. So we say prayers for everybody up here, all right? So let's be clear about that. But I did happen to watch this little interview with JD Vance. That's the vice president. I'm going to tell y'all, he did kind of sort of somewhat sound like he wasn't going to be mad if something took place. He was already sitting around counting how fast he could get up in the big chair, if you will. So if I was Donald Trump, I'd be looking over my shoulder. I certainly wouldn't go to no cookouts with JD Vance right now because he looking like he got some ideas and concepts he ready to share with the people. Jay Dizzle, what's going on, big dog? Glad to see you on the show tonight. Uh-oh. And there go my homegirl, JC. Y'all, look here. I ain't even going to tell y'all no lie. I had an opportunity to kick it with some of the folks this weekend. And I had some interesting conversation. Did I even say that right? Interesting conversations, if you will. But I ain't even gonna put. Y'all. Shh. Everybody, be quiet. Nikki Carter, the arch nemesis, just came in with her pop-eyed self. Nikki Carter, listen. Tonight, I had already made up my mind that I was going to be on good terms with you tonight. I wasn't even going to start no fight. Wasn't going to be no altercation or nothing. And here you go. Okay, seem like you acting halfway. Cassandra Key, what's going on? Glad to see you on the show tonight. Nikki Carter, look at tonight. If you act right, I'm going to act right. I ain't even fighting with you tonight, all right? Y'all. There go our homegirl, Veronica Dixon. What's going on, girl? Glad to see you. But I still got to fight with Nikki Carter. Nikki Carter, what is you doing? Is we good or is we not? I need to know at the beginning of the show because that sets the temperament on how I'm going to deal with you. So you let me know what space you want to rock in. Go ahead and tell me and the people right now. If you want me and you to be cool, then say, Sinclair, we cool tonight. If not, then we're going to be enemies. And I'm built for it because, when you tired, you'll say anything. Y'all, look here. There go my homegirl, Lacey Greer. What's going on? Glad to see you on the show. Hold on. Nikki Carter, it sounds like we beefing. You said don't start nothing, won't be nothing. All right. I stay on the act right. Okay, I don't even know. You know what? You like JD Vance, you sending them mixed signals. So I'm going to have to keep my guard up with you regardless to how this go down. Because, and again, I ain't even going to spend no time talking about this. I only brought it up because somebody literally, not even that long before I got on the show, they was like, hey, you going to talk about Donald Trump? I was like, no. But I keep flashing in my mind to this interview that JD Vance did. And essentially, now I'm paraphrasing because I don't want no smoke with JD, but JD let it be known, hey, I don't think nothing's wrong with the president, but, you know, we all ready to do our jobs if he was to float on. So I'm just saying, Donald Trump, you know, me and you ain't on the same page about a lot of stuff, but hey, I think you need to watch that dude, your second in command, because he got a little something iffy going on in the mindset. He got, as we say in these southern streets, he got a game plan. He got something he's looking to do. And I think if you mess around Donald Trump, if you catch COVID, that dude he gonna give you an injection. So just stay away from him. All right. But listen, people, it's funny. So as y'all can see that the title of the show tonight is, Am I Emotionally Unstable? And I ain't talking about me. We're talking about general, because one of the things that somebody sent me a letter on was saying that a lot of times people be in relationships with folks that are emotionally unstable. And the question is, how does this impact the relationship, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to go and rock with that. Something so we could deep dive. First and foremost, let me ask a question. How many of you out there in listening land believe that you or the person you're in a relationship with, and it don't matter what the relationship is, it could be friendship, y'all could be kicking it, y'all could be engaged, y'all could be married, y'all could be on the outs, on the ends. How many of y'all believe that somebody that one or both of you all in your relationship might be, I said might now, be unstable, emotionally unstable? I ain't talking about mentally. Let me clarify some things. I don't know why I'm laughing so much. Gwendolyn Lady Elegance Pritchard, she down there in Huntsville, Alabama. You know what, Lady Elegance, let me say this to you. I've been waiting for a few days for the show so I could talk to you, because you know how you always put in a little Rocket City, Alabama. Why I heard y'all president say Alabama was officially known as Rocket City since he moving the Space Force there. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I mean, no disrespect if any of y'all, to the men and women who are a part of Space Force, I don't subscribe to that. I don't even believe in Space Force. It ain't even really a branch of service as far as I'm concerned. Now, listen, I'm not knocking it, but you can't be a member of Space Force if you ain't never been to space. I just got this theory. Like, I was in the Army, so I can say I'm an Army veteran because I've been in the Army. You can't say you're a member of the Space Force Command if you ain't never been to space. I'm just saying. That's like y'all really just like accidentally dressing up, playing a role like Star Trek. That's really what y'all doing. If you're in Space Command, you really a member of Star Trek. I ain't trying to be funny. I respect whatever job y'all have. Lacey said me either, and I'm prior Air Force, and I couldn't even believe that they started that. Right. That's what happened. That's how you know. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how you know y'all President Crazy is a box of rocks. And y'all be buying into anything dudes say. Space Force, Space Command. Y'all got the little Star Trek uniform. Ain't nobody playing with y'all. You can't be something you ain't never done. Like, I'm not an NBA player because I ain't never played basketball in the NBA. Now, I done played basketball, but I can't just go around here claiming titles. You cannot be in the Space Force if you ain't never been out in force space. You ain't been nowhere. Now, since the headquarters is gonna be in Huntsville, Alabama, y'all can be the Huntsville, Alabama Force, but you can't be the Space Force. Anyway, I'm gonna get up off there because we got some real stuff to talk about. So let me see what Lady Elegance said. She said, I said the same darn thing, a waste of money. Yeah, but Lady Elegance, you're gonna take them jobs, though, ain't you? I know. But check this out. All right. So the question is, and I ain't seen none of y'all answer it yet. Are you or the person you're in a relationship with, are either of you emotionally unstable? And tonight's topic is tough, but it also one of the most important conversations that you and I or you can have with yourself. And that's to ask yourself that honest question. Am I emotionally unstable? And how does this impact the relationship? And before we get to going deep down the rabbit hole, let me make one thing clear. Emotional instability does not mean that you're broken or unworthy of love. All right. Uh-oh. Cassandra said at times, yes. Well, Cassandra, are you talking about you or the other person? We just asking. We ain't judging tonight. This is a judge-free zone. And remember what I just said, that being emotionally unstable doesn't mean that you're broken or unworthy of love. It means that there may be areas of your emotional life that need balance, healing, and intentional work. And trust me, you ain't gonna be by yourself. So we're gonna explore three big concepts. Oh, see, Cassandra must have took some daggone truth serum. She said both her and the other person from time to time might be a smidget emotionally unstable. But I'm just trying to understand. Okay, JC said both. Look at all these people telling the truth. Who would have thunk that all I had to do was ask a question about people might be a little semi unbalanced? But I like this truth serum. Let me see who else telling the truth. Jay Dizzle out there going to confession. Jay Dizzle done hit his usher. This is my confession. Listen, let me say this. I believe, being a counselor for an extended period of time, I personally believe and professionally believe that everybody has it in them. Beatrice Hayes, what's going on, girl? She said, I definitely am someone who has been emotionally unstable, but the work and therapy I've done these last few months has been so healing. Absolutely. Look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all see how we doing good work tonight? Now, let me say this. As a professional, and I want y'all to rock with me tonight because I have some ulterior perspectives, but it's good feedback. First and foremost, let's keep in mind, everybody has periods of time when they become emotionally unstable or imbalanced because whomever you are dealing with, or even if you don't have anybody to deal with, we are human beings and there are things that trigger us. You can be in the same room with somebody and like most of us, and I'm gonna say us because I got a little bit in me, a little bit, not a whole lot. I got a little bit of pettiness that I tote around all the time. And some people say, well, you shouldn't say that you petty. I am petty. Because if you give me a reason, I could be the most petty person that you have ever been around. Why? Not that I'm gonna start it, but once you start it, you know, like some people say, whatever the punishment should fit the crime. I don't subscribe to that. If you didn't want no punishment, you should have acted right. But once I start down Pettyville, it is hard to, yeah, Jay Dizzle, just a little bit, a smidget. And I want y'all to think about it, because for those of you who don't believe that you can be emotionally unstable, it's because you're in denial. Okay? I could give you instance after instance after instance and a justification. For example, and I'm just going to say this. Hold on. Lacey says she can see that. Well, listen now, Lacey. I don't need you giving me no high five propping up my potential pettiness, but it's true. I want y'all to think about this. First, we're going to talk about what does emotional instability look like, how baggage from the past holds us back, and the real question, am I truly good enough for the relationship I want, or do I need to do more work on me first? All right? Look at Lacey said, ain't no judgment. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's my homegirl right there. She said, no judgment tonight, but you are petty. All right, so let's first begin. What does being emotionally unstable look like? Emotional instability doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. It can be needing constant reassurance, overreacting to small situations, making decisions based only on feelings, not facts, struggling to stay consistent in how you show up for people. Those are some aspects of emotional instability. Now, that does not mean they are. That's all right? But let's talk about it. Uh-oh. I knew JC was going to do this. Men who act like women are, wow. You just jumped all off the deep end of the pool. So JC, I wasn't even thinking, but for all of you all who are listening, and y'all see how I done posted up what JC said, now I've got to be petty. I'm going into petty mode. First of all, JC, what does it mean when you say men who act like women? What does that mean to you? Y'all, we about to get all the way off topic because see, she done went down the rabbit's hole. Please don't get quiet mouth now. Nikki Carter said, I just got JD is poisoning him. Hey, probably so. JC, I want you to tell me when you say men who act like women are, and I don't even know what animal that is. I'm hoping that's a puppy or whatever. It could be something else, but I'm going to let you tell me what does that mean? Because let me be clear with you all, ladies, before we get back on track. Let me go ahead and straighten JC out. First and foremost, I wanted her to explain what did she mean when she said men who act like women. I hope that you're not saying men who have a level of sensitivity, because let me make something clear to you all. Uh-oh. She says a female dog. You know what that means. Okay, so you talking about men that act like women, meaning men that are sensitive, men that are what? What are you trying to say? Because ladies, I'm going to sprinkle this on your spirit for a second. Y'all always talking about men and their level of sensitivity. If a man acts sensitive to some things, JC done said he's a female dog or whatever. Let me tell y'all something. Not one of you are built for a dude that lacks sensitivity. You ain't built for him. Because if any of you had a man who didn't have any sensitivity, first and foremost, he couldn't be with you. And second of all, you would have to physically fight. Do you know what it means? Detective Pamela Black, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. Do you know what it means when a man has to be in warrior mode all the time? You ought to be glad if you got a man that has the mindset that he can talk to you in a sensitive manner and express himself. That ain't him being no female dog. If he didn't have that, he'd probably be squirreling up on you. Because the truth is sometimes if a man lacks sensitivity, in his mind, he believes he is justified in every situation in going from 0 to 60. She talking about there's nothing wrong with a man being sensitive. I'm talking about female tendency. Well, what does that mean? Selena Hara, good going on, girl. Glad to see you out here in these streets with us tonight. Tell me what that means, because see, y'all like to say these things, but understand something. Men in many cases have it very difficult because there's no clear-cut path. You're talking about what? Because a man, what is acting like a female, JC? Y'all see, I'm telling y'all, I'm feeling kind of petty tonight. But let's get back. We said needing constant reassurance, overreacting to small situations, making decisions based on feelings, struggling to stay consistent in how you show up for people. How many of you need constant reassurance? Go on, raise your hand. I'll wait. How many of y'all overreact to small situations? How many of you make decisions based only on feelings, not facts? Some of y'all gonna lie tonight. Some of y'all not gonna tell the truth that the majority of the decisions that you make, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a true story. All right. Hold on. JC said pettiness. I told you about broadcasting that. Hey, I told you I keep it a stack. Big Rod, what's going on? Glad to see you on the show. JC, you can't, I don't have a problem with saying I'm petty because the reality of it is I am sometime. Now I'm pushed to pettiness, but I rocks with that. And the only way I can hang out with you all is to be straightforward with you all. I can't, that's why y'all can trust my judgment, because I'm gonna talk about me when I got some flaws. Let me say this to you. And I'm gonna give y'all a prime example of a situation, a real life situation. I'm not gonna talk about none of the players involved because I don't want nobody to get in their feelings. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this. There's a story that exists, and I'm told it's a true story, that there was a man who said, hey, I'm going to get something to eat. And the man said he was going to one of the local fast food restaurants. And Lacey said, I definitely have done that in the past and continue to work on myself when it comes to my emotions, a work in progress. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Lacey. We trust your judgment. We trust that you out here in these emotional streets working on yourself, and that's why we proud of you, unlike Nikki Carter. So anyway, in this story, this man says he's going to Popeyes to get some chicken wings or whatever, and he tells this person, I'm going to get it, right? And so when he tells this lady this, that he's going to get these chicken wings, and something happens. And while he's out getting the chicken wings, the lady passes by and sees his automobile and is parked. And you know how sometimes when you go to the fast food place, if you're asking for your food to be hot, they'll say, hey, pull in one of these slots. So the man tells the story and says that he pulls the car in the first slot. And as the woman is driving past, she sees the car parked in the first slot. And later on, she tells that person, she said, I'm not dealing with you no more. You have lost access to me because you selfish. And so the man tells the story that he was taken back. He didn't know what was going on. So at some point, he calls and they go back and forth. And finally, the man says, well, if I've lost, access to you, then I want you to pay me for them chicken wings that I got. And the lady says, well, what chicken wings are you talking about? And the man says, well, I told you I was going to get us some chicken wings earlier, and you weren't here when I got back. And come to find out, the man tells the story that the reason why she was mad was because she saw him at the location sitting in the parking lot in his vehicle, and she thought he was selfish and went and got himself some chicken and was eating it at the restaurant. And this is the mindset. So now when somebody says something about, hold on, JC says selfish, right? Nigga said if she's searching for him like that, he done something before. No, Nikki Carter, as the story was told, she had left to go someplace else during this period of time. She wasn't stalking him. Happened to have seen him in a car at the chicken place. Don't get sidetracked by the technicalities, Nikki Carter. The whole point being, she got mad and told him that he lost access because she thought he was sitting at the chicken place eating chicken wings. Now, in the first section, it says needing constant reassurance, overreacting to small situations, making decisions based on feelings, not facts. Them first four, I gotta say, if the story is true, that person definitely has to be emotionally unstable because they overreacted to some small situations, made a decision based on feelings and not facts. If somebody lost access to you all out there in Pigeonville, if somebody could somebody lose access to you over some chicken wings? I just want to know. And if so, what does that say about your mentality? I ain't judging. James, what's going on? Glad to see you. Hey, Lacey said facts. That's crazy. Listen, I just want y'all opinion. If somebody says that that you done lost access because of some chicken wings, JC says some people just want to eat in peace. But JC, as the story goes, he wasn't even eating the chicken wings. He was waiting for the people at the restaurant to finish cooking them. Jay Dizzle said, not over some chicken. Hey, it must be. Nikki talking about, oh, we pigeons now. No, Nikki Carter, I ain't name calling tonight. I promise I ain't. But I'm just trying to understand, for the life of me, if you lost access over some chicken wings, and let's clear it up. I don't even want to sound petty. It wasn't even about the chicken wings. It was about 3 of these top 4 things: overreacting to small situations, making decisions based on feelings, not facts, needing constant reassurance. Lacey said, you can't jump to the negative. Got to have some sort of emotional intelligence. Hey, you know what? I'm just listening to y'all tonight. Nikki said they don't lose access over something one time unless it's really serious. But so let's assume, hypothetically, that it wasn't just the chicken, but that was the last straw. Should chicken even be a last straw? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Should chicken wings and the fact that you assume that the person, rather than bringing the wings back, was sitting there eating some hot wings on their lunch, should that even be, even if it was the last straw, should it even be a straw? I'm just asking. JC said, so this would be an example of emotionally unstable, but are people this way for no reason, or did you give them a reason? Well, let's say hypothetically in this particular story that there was some reasons from the past. Maybe the person went and got something to eat before and didn't tell them. I don't know what reasons it could be, but I do know this. Maybe there is a question of, why is it that we always find a reason rather than saying somebody could be emotionally unstable? In this case, y'all looking for, well, maybe it was something else. Let's say that the dude had done something before. Let's say he hadn't been consistent with lunch before. Whatever it is. I don't care if he had did 1,000 things before. Should some chicken wings have been the demise of the situation? And then Nikki talking about, yes, if it's the last straw. You know what? That's how I know that many of you are emotionally unstable. And I'm saying that because you all are sitting here with a mindset that gives you the excuse for her. What about him? How should he feel? How should this hypothetical person in this story, the man, feel? All he went to do was get some hot wings, and it wasn't even just for him. It was for him and her. And she wasn't there when he got back. So what should he have done? I'm just saying, I'm asking a question. Does he, let me see what Jay Dizzle talking about. Oh, no, hold on. Let me put Jay Dizzle up here. He said, why would that be the last straw? If that was not the case, the person had gotten the chicken for them both. That's what I'm talking about, Disnizzles. JC said, Nikki Carter, I agree. It's not about the chicken wings, but the years of that same behavior. Well, first of all, crazy people like you all, the first thing you want to do is admit facts that are not in evidence. You're more willing to say that that man must have been doing something over a period of time than to say that she could be emotionally unstable. That's the first sign of being narcissist. Absolutely. And you wonder why men feel the way they do sometimes, not all men and not all women. I'm just saying. Beatrice said, I would say my childhood trauma has affected a lot of my emotional reaction because sometimes those connections can impact you as an adult. Definitely not an excuse because you have to be accountable for your actions. I think the situation of the chicken wings, laugh out loud, maybe it wasn't just the chicken wings. Maybe there's a deeper layer. Again, not an excuse because there should be change. I agree with Beatrice. Nikki Carter said, if someone is done over wings, it's probably a buildup. Jay-Z said, what's the behavior? Jay Dizzle said, what's the behavior? The person was getting chicken for the house. Absolutely. See, and that's the part right there. That's the reason why men struggle sometimes. And I'm going to say this. I believe that's why when you see certain behaviors from men, maybe they go find them a seasoned woman, somebody that done been through something, that's somebody that done found her life balance. And while y'all sitting around thinking one way, those seasoned women have come to the realization of who they are and what they are in life. And so it's easier to be in relationships with them because look at what you middle-aged to young women are saying. Y'all out here still making justifications for somebody getting mad because they saw a dude parked in his car in the first slot at the chicken place waiting to get chicken for everybody. Sinclair, it's not happening in a vacuum. I'm not saying that it is. Y'all minimizing it's not about the wings. Why isn't it though? And how do we know it's not about the wings? We just said a person that's emotionally unstable, it could be about anything. You want to make it about something greater because if you had to stand 10 toes on just the facts as presented, you would have to admit there must be something going on emotionally with her. And that's the whole thing that we sitting here talking about. So I get sick of some of y'all sometimes because y'all sit back here and can't you detach from reality. See, look at Jay Dizzle. See, that's a grown man. He said it was feelings over facts. Absolutely. JC said, Johnny Key, it has to be more than that. Most people aren't tripping over nothing. I mean, I'm not going to treat you like a liar if you're not a liar. You know what, JC? Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Ty, what's going on? And I'm going to tell you, JC, why I feel some kind of way about your statement. Because your statement implies that there aren't any people out there, be they men or women, who will trip for no reason. You so willing to believe that it must be something wrong with the man because you don't want to accept the fact that you're probably that type of person. Half of y'all are. And it's a shame. Listen to how many women. Look at James said, maybe you are maximizing Nikki Carter. And I agree with that. Look at how many of you are unwilling to accept that the woman who got mad about him being parked there when she thought he was sitting there eating them wings and didn't rush back to her with him, y'all can't accept that she could be just that petty. Oh, it must be something else. That's the blockage in your mental chain of thought. You would rather make up additional facts. JC says, so if it's just chicken wings, then why are we having this conversation? We're having the conversation because her attitude when she thought something that she didn't have facts about was a certain way. You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm not even gonna let y'all get me in that perspective. I shouldn't even have done this show tonight because I should have known that y'all was gonna drive me to this point with this tomfoolery. Y'all with this Me Too movement, we lockstep in arms. Matter of fact, most of y'all lying. Most of y'all got a friend that's crazy. Johnny said it was a perception of what she felt without the facts. Now that's facts right there. But let's be honest. Most of you all, if you're not the crazy one, has somebody in your crew that even you done said was crazy. Be tripping all the time. But you're gonna get on my show tonight and come in here where I'm gonna defend something that simple? Come on now. Be a woman about your stuff. Nikki Carter said if she was running errands too, she wasn't gonna eat them hot anyway. Hey, but it was worth her tripping on. You know what? I'm telling y'all, let's go on to something else because y'all making me mad. And I told myself I wasn't even gonna get mad at y'all tonight. I'm gonna let y'all be crazy on your own. All right. Let me give y'all an example. Your partner doesn't text you back for 3 hours. The reality, they might be busy in a meeting or resting. But if you're unstable emotionally, your mind might jump to, they don't care about me, they're losing interest, or I knew this wouldn't last. How many of y'all got that mentality? Somebody don't text you right back, you feel like they either up to something or something must be wrong. How many of y'all act like that? And I already know for some of y'all, the JCs and the Nikki Carters, you're going to say, well, if I feel that way, it's because I didn't caught them up in something. You know what? Y'all always got an excuse. Y'all so scorned. But how many times in your life have you done dirt or been accused of doing dirt? Y'all so busy out here trying to swing both ways and say, oh, I'm so perfect and this and that. You know what? I'm trying. Father, please help me. Because you know what they doing. And I don't even want to be down this chain of thought with them. But they pushing me there. Yeah, that right there. You need to vet these stories before you talk. I don't need to vet nothing, Nikki Carter. Never. JC, you ain't never been the crazy one in those situations. You ain't never been accused of, you know what? Let me go on and let's talk about something else because what I ain't gonna deal with is no lies. Now we got perfect people on our show. Ain't never been a. All right. So, how many of you have called your person? You said you always got excuses for them too. No, I'm not making up any excuses, Nikki Carter. But I'm not dealing with facts not in evidence. I don't need to make up some facts to make you feel good about it. If there are no facts that said that the man did anything other than what we read or what I told y'all in this story, then those are the facts. Why every time you got facts, you got to make up some on your own to fit it so that you can say that a woman had a reason for tripping? I wouldn't condone it if it was a dude. JC says she ain't never got upset if she called her man and he didn't answer. Never? JC, it sounds like you lying. You mean in your whole life, you ain't never been in your feelings when you called a man and he didn't answer you back? You gotta be lying. You either lying or you ain't no human. And that's what make the show difficult. I let y'all get up here and tell them lies. JC ain't finna get nothing but hung up on. Nikki Carter. How does emotional instability impact relationships? Let's talk about that. All right. Let's talk about how the instability actually plays out in relationship. It often looks like you speak about your feelings in every single conversation until your partner feels overwhelmed. You rely on them to regulate your moods instead of working through them yourself. You question their loyalty constantly, or you escalate small disagreements into big fights. Listen to what it said. All right. She talking about, no, that's not what I said. Well, I don't know what the heck you talking about then, JC, because you saying a bunch of stuff. We don't even know what you're talking about. It says emotional instability actually plays out in relationships in the following manner. It often looks like you speak about your feelings in every single conversation until your partner feels overwhelmed. Is that any of you ladies or gentlemen? Because I know it's some dudes out here to do the same thing, but let me begin by saying this. First of all, let me begin by saying this. What about these men? It's crickets in here. Yeah, they is a little quiet. Look, Nikki Carter, I ain't feeling you, but it is some that's on soft time. Annie Moore, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. So the first statement, it says you speak about your feelings in every single conversation until your partner feels overwhelmed. How many of you, men or women, every time you get into a deep conversation with your significant other, no matter what their station is, you got to tell them about how you feel? When is the last time that some of you were capable of having a conversation where you weren't talking in some negative capacity about your feelings related to something? I'll wait. Some of y'all ain't gonna tell the truth, and some of these men up here ain't gonna tell the truth. Matter of fact, some of you women ain't gonna tell the truth. Matter of fact, let me ask it a different way. How many of you have a significant other, I ain't even asking for their gender, who every time they talk to you, they're expressing how they feel about something versus some facts? We'll wait. Anyone? Y'all ain't got nothing to say? I'm amazed. How y'all get quiet? Uh-oh. Here we go. Seems like the only person got some in-depth stuff is Beatrice. The escalating small arguments into big fights was me. It's actually very freeing to be aware of your faults and working toward being a better person. I think that's a strength and not a weakness. Listen, Beatrice, I agree with you 1,000%, because it's nothing wrong with identifying that this is something you do and how it might impact other people. Nikki said last week men complained about not being supported. Okay. This week they still complaining. Ain't nobody complaining. I'm asking questions. Nikki Carter, do you want me to disconnect you right now or later? Esther Shepherd, what's going on? That's my armor bearer right there. There you go, Beatrice. And I want y'all to understand something. See, I can respect the fact that sometimes, and let me be clear, sometimes you need to be in your feelings, and that's okay. But then other times, y'all find yourself, that's all you want to talk about is your feelings. And for most of the time, most men, and I'm saying this from a reasonable position, a lot of times men cannot manage the emotions of everything being about a feeling. JC said, I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve, which is good and bad. Come on now. Come on now, JC. Really, you don't? You don't wear your feelings on your sleeve? I don't even know how I want to proceed with that. You know what? I'm going to let whatever you say be your truth tonight. I ain't even second guessing the judging. All right. And next it says you rely on them to regulate your moods instead of working through them yourself. Hey, how many of you all does that apply to? Something going on, you start wilding out, talking about your feelings, and then you start playing the emotional blame game. Every situation that comes out your mouth, you're going to bring up your feelings. And let's say, because we know Nikki Carter and JC and others sometimes love to constantly drag down the heel of it must be something else. You might have did something in the past. Let's say for giggles that somebody did do something in the past, but you elected to stay with them. You don't get to just keep walking around talking about it all the time. I don't trust you because you may have did something, or I thought you did something, or I got the chicken wrong and I thought you were sitting in the first slot eating chicken with another woman, but come to find out you was waiting for them to finish cooking it. No matter what the case is, some of you want to be in situations where you have some excuse to not do the things that you probably should be doing. It's your emotional roller coaster ride. You know what? I don't have to be a good woman to my man because he did something years ago and I'm never going to let him recover for it because that's how I maintain the advantage. You don't have no advantage. The advantage is if you, listen, men or women, if you're in a relationship like that where somebody is holding you emotional hostage, leave them alone. I promise you, it's some women out here right now. It's some men out here right now that will accept you for who and what you are, as is no warranty. You don't have to keep going around and dealing with people always from 100 years ago. They still bringing up what they think they thought you did. You don't need that. You out here breaking your neck to do any and everything you can to make something right. At a certain point, it ain't going to be right because the person you with don't want it to be right. That's too much for y'all, I know. But he chose to ride with me. Yeah, you're right. He chose to ride with you, but he didn't think he was going to be on no roller coaster. He didn't think that it was that light that he saw at the end of the tunnel. He thought it was freedom. He didn't know it was a train coming. Man, whatever. Y'all making my chest hurt. It says you always question their loyalty. How many of y'all does this indicate? How many of you constantly question the loyalty of your significant other, male or female? Now, let me say this to y'all. Most of y'all been on some of y'all been on the show with me for 7, 8, 9 years. And let me say this to you, because I stand on this. I take loyalty over love and any other emotion because loyalty means you're committed because you committed. All right. Ty said, I'm late to the party talking about feelings. You sound awfully passionate right now. You know what, Ty? Shut up. Okay. Man, I got a work call. Hold on one second, people. Don't get in my business. Hello? Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, man, you know I'm doing my podcast right now, right? Yeah, give me till 9 o'clock. I'll call you back. All right. Y'all see how I did that? I let them know that I was still doing the show. That's the job. See, I be working. All right. No, I ain't. Listen, I am passionate about the fact because these are real things. Do you believe that constantly questioning somebody's loyalty strengthens or weakens the relationship? I'm just asking. Any y'all? Anybody want to take that one? JC? You want to deep dive into that little pond, JC? Ah, look at that. Jay Dizzle said it weakens it. That's what I'm talking about. What is this? Anybody else? Ty says it weakens it. You know what's funny? I don't hear JC answering it. I don't see Nikki Carter answering it. Them two most vocal people when it comes to breaking down and talking about their feelings and all that. I don't see them saying nothing. Y'all quit them cricket set that y'all was talking about. See, that's that piece right there. You don't want to answer the questions that teeter on what you all probably do. If you're constantly questioning somebody's loyalty, you are weakening that potential bond and relationship. And I'm going to say this to you. It don't matter if it's male or female. If you're in a relationship where somebody is constantly questioning your loyalty, why are you in it? At a certain point, you can't keep running back saying, well, I'm staying around, because you can't love a person into trusting you. You can't love a person who is a natural skeptic of you in the first place. And every show that I've done for the last 8-9 years, every time the subject came up where it may have been talking about an indiscretion of a woman, y'all found the ability to blame the man, and y'all wanted to give there some level of pass or whatever. But I'm seeing right now that in these conversations, y'all ain't got nothing to say when it comes to, because most of you find it difficult, because if you wasn't questioning your significant other's loyalty, what would you be able to talk about? That's what I want to know. What could you talk about if you couldn't use the old, I can't trust you? If you couldn't use the old, well, remember 10 years ago you did something. If you couldn't fall back on that, and you had to stand up and be a grown man or a grown woman in a relationship, and you couldn't use that excuse, what could you really be? That's the question I want to know. What could you be in a relationship? When is the last time that you looked at a person and that person just made you feel a certain kind of way? That person just made you want to be next to them. You can't want to be next to somebody because you sit in judgment all the time. You sit from a position that you think you're better than the person. You have not got caught in your situations. You think you've caught them in theirs. See, let me tell you something, people. I don't subscribe to lies. And I know there's not a person on this show, the thousands that have clicked in, there's not a person on this show that ain't never done nothing before. So when you sit up on this scale and act like you so innocent to life, you just didn't get caught in something. But you sit in judgment. Oh, this, and that. It is an excuse for those of you who choose to make someone else miserable. And it doesn't matter. It ain't got to be the person that you with now. You're going to make the next 5 people in your life miserable because you're miserable. That's the truth. You don't know how to accept people. And then it be the Christians, it be the church folks talking about forgive. You'll forgive every other Negro in your life except for the other person on the cool side of the pillar. Why is that? If your mama do something, you're going to forgive her. Daddy do something, you might forgive him. Siblings do something, you're going to forgive them. Your homegirl do something, you're going to forgive them. Your homeboy do something, you're going to forgive them. Everybody gets forgiveness except for the person that's in the relationship with you, because that's your advantage mechanism to hold something over their head. They need to leave y'all alone. Because I believe this wholeheartedly. If you can't forgive, then you should leave a person alone. I stand on that. Nikki Carter said, how did we go down this rabbit hole? Nikki Carter, y'all put me on this rabbit hole. Because y'all sitting in here with the blame game. All we was talking about was, is something possible? Y'all making it so it's no way possible that a man could be innocent of something. And get up out of here with that mess. I just want to know, have you all ever been in a healthy relationship? That's what I want to know. And I would think that the older you get, you ought to have something in your mind that says, I'm going to drive down a different route. I was listening to Beatrice. She has been very open and candid with us about her search for healing and growth, personal growth. And I'm listening to some of y'all don't want no personal growth. Some of y'all will mess up any relationship you ever find yourself in because you're so judgmental of other people. You believe that they should act the way you want them to act. They should be the way that you want them to be. When is the last time that a person could literally be themselves and be around you? Girl, ain't nobody gullible. Shut up, Nikki Carter. Messing with my positive energy tonight. I started off all positive and everything, but I'm just listen, because I know that. Let me see who is this right here popping in. Jay Dizzle said most people are in relationships that have some level of dysfunction and don't navigate through it properly. You know why? Because in most relationships, and I'm not even going to talk about the gender, because sometimes it ain't women, sometimes it's actually men just as crazy, but in those relationships where there is extended dysfunction, it is because some people are more comfortable in chaos. Some people are more comfortable when there is no sense of love and companionship and passion in a relationship. Because they don't have that inside of them, or they don't have it with you all. And that's okay. The part that's not okay is you won't admit that you play some role in it, so you keep mistreating the other person. I'm just saying. Listen, people, I'm getting ready. I'm really getting ready to get out of the show because y'all done made me mad. It's almost 9 o'clock. I got to call and put out a fire on the job. See, my work is never done. Most of y'all ain't used to no dude that work like that. Jay Dizzle said communication can change that. A pure listening and processing experience. Jay Dizzle, come on. When is the last time that you had exactly what you just said right there? A pure listening and processing experience. 99% of relationships, one person or more in the relationship is not listening to receive, they are listening to respond. And so you'll never get anywhere in those types. JC said most people believe their relationship would be perfect if you do and act like I want you to versus just accepting someone for who they are. Now, you know what, JC? Even though you done said a lot of crazy stuff, I agree with you on that. But the thing about it is, you can't ask for that if you're incapable of delivering that either. Listen, let me leave y'all with a little nugget tonight. That this might, I'm gonna act like I'm all y'all counselor tonight. All right. Let me say this to you. Each of us have flaws. Me and you. What you do with your flaws is the difference between you being a narcissist and emotionally unstable and you simply being a person who has feelings. If you're still dragging a duffel bag full of bricks that you have collected your entire life, it's not the person that you're with, it's you. If you're still judging them based on something they did or the previous 10 people did to you, it's not them, it's you. You can't say you want peace until you're capable of giving yourself mental and emotional freedom, not from the person on the other side of the pillar, but from everything you have kept lodged in your mind and in your heart, because that's where the problem dwells. You can never escape what's inside of your head. And for many of you all, that's a lot. Gotta go, people.
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go.